In a quiet valley tucked between forgotten mountains, where the sky shimmered in pale purples and soft blues, there lived a dragon named Emberline. But Emberline was not like the dragons of old songs. He did not roar. He did not fly through thunderstorms or guard golden treasures. No, Emberline was soft. His scales shimmered like moonlight through morning mist, and his breath, instead of fire, glowed like warm candlelight. He lived in a cave made of crystal and moss, where fireflies drifted like dreams, and the wind always carried stories. And he waited for something, but he didn't know what. Every evening, as the stars began to blink awake, Emberline would walk to the edge of his mountain. There, he would sit and watch the lights in the villages far below, little orange dots that flickered like he did. He wondered if they knew he was watching. He wondered if they knew he existed at all. And sometimes, when the moon was especially kind, he would whisper his name into the wind and hope someone whispered it back. But no one ever did. So, Emberline began to wonder if he was made of something too quiet for the world to hear. One night, as Emberline curled beside his cave's warmest stone, a soft voice touched his ear. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even a word. It was a flutter. A hush. A heartbeat of the air. And then, a firefly landed on his nose. He blinked. The firefly blinked. And then it flew forward, glowing brighter than before. More followed. A whole stream of tiny, twinkling lights, dancing and swirling like stardust in a breeze. They didn't speak. They simply led. And Emberline stood. And followed. The fireflies led Emberline along a path he'd never seen. It curved past sleeping trees and over stones that hummed softly as he stepped. And though he was large and ancient and made of dragon bone and heart, Emberline felt small. The sky above seemed deeper than ever. Stars blinked like secrets. A crescent moon hung low, watching. And the further Emberline walked, the warmer his chest began to feel. Not hot like fire, but warm like hope. The path ended at a pond so still, it mirrored the stars perfectly. Emberline leaned over and stared. He saw himself. But something was different. In the water, his glow was brighter. His eyes were softer. And around him, in the reflection only, were animals he had never met. A bear curled beneath a tree. A fox dozing on a rock. A turtle resting on a lily pad. They were not afraid of him. They didn't hide. They simply slept, peacefully, near him. As if his glow was a comfort. As if he belonged. A breeze stirred. From above, something floated down, soft and white and delicate. A feather. But not from a bird. It glowed faintly. It hummed. And when it landed on Emberline's nose, he felt it. A message. Not words, but a knowing. A call. Something waited above. Not on the mountain. Not in the pond. But in the sky. Emberline blinked slowly. And for the first time in many years, he opened his wings. Emberline's wings had not been used in a long time. They creaked like old trees and shimmered like sleepy silver clouds. He stretched them carefully. A breeze caught beneath them. He flapped once. Twice. And the earth sighed. Dust rose around his feet. And then, so gently he barely noticed, he rose. The pond grew smaller. The trees shrank. And the stars grew closer. He was flying. Quietly. Softly. But surely. Flying towards something he did not yet understand, but fully trusted. Above the world, where most never go, Emberline found a place made entirely of clouds. But these weren't the clouds of storm and thunder. They were gentle. shaped like pillows, and glowing faintly with color: pink, blue, lavender, gold. And nestled between them were flowers made of mist and memory. He landed softly. Each step sank like snow. The flowers did not wilt beneath him. Instead, they opened, as if recognizing a very old friend. And in the center of the garden, resting on a throne of moonbeams, was a dragon. Old, glowing, and smiling. The old dragon's name was Lysander. He had not spoken aloud in many years. But when Emberline arrived, Lysander bowed his head gently and spoke into his heart. "You heard the call." Emberline nodded. Lysander smiled again. "For generations, we've waited. Not for strength. Not for fire. But for gentleness that glows from within." He motioned to the sky. "The stars are not suns. Not all of them. Some are dragons. Dragons who let go of the earth to light the skies." Emberline's eyes widened. "You are ready, Emberline. But what if I'm afraid?" Lysander placed his nose gently against Emberline's. "Then carry your fear with wonder. It makes your light real." Lysander led Emberline to the edge of the cloud garden. Below them, the world spun quietly: blue rivers, golden fields, tiny flickers of towns. Above, the stars shimmered like open arms. Emberline breathed deeply. And from within him, a soft golden light began to grow. It spread from his heart to his wings, to his tail, to the tips of his horns. He looked like a falling star that hadn't fallen yet. And then he lifted off the cloud. Higher and higher. Until his body began to dissolve into light. Not vanish, transform. Into warmth. Into a star. Back on the ground, a small child looked up from their window. A new star had appeared. One that shimmered a little differently. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. And every time it did, the child felt safe. Loved. Known. They didn't know why. But they whispered, "Thank you." And somewhere in the sky, that star shimmered just a little brighter. Sometimes, when the wind is very quiet and the sky very clear, you can hear a whisper among the stars. Not a word, but a feeling. A warmth. As if someone, somewhere, is watching over you. Not to guard gold. Not to roar. But simply to be. To glow. To remind you that you are never too quiet to be seen. Never too soft to be strong. And that even the gentlest ember can light the night forever.